From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
What do you do when it's 3 days before Christmas? Log4J is still around and you're tired. Well, we're going to find out on today's show. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Practitioner Brief this morning. James Azar here with the latest. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Good morning to everyone on there. This is going to be a packed show. A lot of things to talk about beyond Log4J. Here's the thing about Log4J. And we'll get to that. All right. Yeah, it's the headline you see in front of you now, but we've got more stuff going on, a lot more stuff happening. Because Log4j, as of right now, is on its third batch patching rotation. We'll probably see 3 to 4 more in the next probably 8 weeks. That's my guess. So a lot there. But before we do that, let's see who's with us this morning. We've got a packed audience. Good morning to Matt. Good morning to Steven. Mr. Rosen has now confirmed that Santa has no Log4j in SLED control systems. I've also heard that from NORAD. Larry, by the way, they've said that they're tracking Santa. No Log4j vulnerabilities in operating his SLED. May peace coffee be with you all. Indeed, I can't wait to get into my double espresso here in just a moment. Also, good morning to Hari Prasath. Miguel, good morning to you, good sir. I believe this is going to be Anwar. So good morning, Anwar. Between you and Gerald, it's becoming a good hour to spend in the morning. Coffee cup cheers, indeed. Well, we've got a packed show, so let's get right into it. But before we do that, a quick shout out to our friends over at Know4, who without their support, this show would not be possible. Please go and check them out. And now, what are you drinking? Let me know what you're drinking in the comments today, right? I know Matt Lee's probably on his like Red Bull thing, but I've got my beautiful cup of coffee. It's my double espresso. It's by Illy. It's in a Cubs mug. So if you're a Chicago Cubs fan today, you'll like me. And if you're not, you may just be like, oh, James, so disappointed. But I got this when I was in Chicago. It's one of my favorite mugs. So with that, coffee cup cheers. All right, let's get into this. Here we go, folks. The Log4j vulnerability is now used to install the Dridex banking malware. Threat actors are now exploiting the Apache Log4j vulnerability named Log4Shell to infect vulnerable devices with notorious Dridex banking Trojan or Meter Predator. The Dridex malware, for those who don't know, is a banking Trojan originally developed to steal online banking credentials from victims. However, it's now evolved. It's a loader that downloads various modules that can be used to perform different malicious behaviors, like installing additional payloads, spreading to other devices, taking screenshots, does a whole lot more. Dridex infections are known to lead to some ransomware attacks from operations believed to be linked to the Evil Corp hacking group. What an awesome name that is, right? A bunch of little kids sitting around going, what are we going to call ourselves? The Evil Corp hacking group. Real original. Like, I feel like a Austin Powers scene developing here. The ransomware infection includes BitPay or Doppler Paymer and possibly other limited ransomware variants. There has been confirmation of the distribution of Dridex on Windows via Log4j. So you can see all the information here in front of you. Joseph Rosen told Bleepy Computer that the threat actors used the Log4j RMI exploit variant to force vulnerable devices to load and execute a Java class from an attacker-controlled remote server. Once that's executed, the Java class will first attempt to download and launch an HTA file from various URLs, which will install the Dridex Trojan. If it cannot execute the Windows commands, it will assume the device is running Linux, Unix, and download and execute a Python script to install the Meta Predator. Running Meta Predator on a Linux box will provide the threat actors with a remote shell that they can use to deploy further payloads or execute commands. All of that is there. You can see the code here. A lot of profanity in what they're running there. So we're not going to keep that on screen for too long. But having this escalated to Dridex is significant. Dridex is a significant piece of malware that targets specifically banking. They're going right after the money. This is the kill shot. So that is that. So a lot more to come on that over the next few days. One thing I will tell you is I've reached out to actually someone over at CISO to get a kind of scale of Dridex this morning. They've said that they've seen some cases, but not a lot of it. Best way to mitigate this is don't allow any downloads of any of the associated files and block some of the code. So keep that in mind. Let's get to some of your comments here. Coffee Cup Cheers from Christoph. Larry Rosen's having hot chocolate. The Holiday Blend Coffee and Evil Corp is a Mr. Robot reference. I did not know that. Thank you so much, Matt. I've never watched Mr. Robot. Yeah, I know. I haven't had the time. So let's leave it at that. I'll try to get a few episodes in over the holiday, but we'll see if I'll be able to get that too. Let's move to our next story. Microsoft's urging customers to patch the recent Active Directory vulnerabilities. So on Monday, Microsoft released an alert for 2 Active Directory vulnerabilities addressed with its November 2021 Patch Tuesday update. They're urging customers to install the available patch as soon as possible. They're tracked as CV 2021-42287, 42278. The 2 security errors can be chained to impersonate domain controllers and gain admin privileges on Active Directory. This is for on-prem, not Azure AD, folks. So keep that in mind. The patch is in place, so please make sure you go and get this CVE patched. This is an out-of-band release for non-security related issues that also goes into that as well. So please deploy those patches as soon as possible. I think 70 or 80% of organizations use Active Directory in some shape, form, or matter. So when Microsoft issues something like this, this is critical. Please get it done. We'll move on to another story. The FBI Cyber Division has issued an alert warning enterprises using Zoho-owned ManageEngine Desktop Central that advanced attackers have been exploiting a flaw to install malware since at least late October. Zoho released a patch for the authentication bypass flaw CV 2021-44515 on the 3rd of December, warning at the time that it had seen indications of exploitation and urged customers to update immediately. So here's where I want to get to this. Indications of exploitation. No, you've seen actual exploitation. So why say indication? Because when you say indication, the people in IT or the people who do the patching are going to look at it and go, well, indication, what are the chances it comes to us? Well, we've got these other things we need to do. We'll probably wait on this we'll put it in 30, 45 days down the road. Be meaningful with the words you use if you're patching something that you know people are taking advantage of. Zoho never provided details of the attack, which occurred after activity this year targeting previously patched flaws in the ManageEngine products were also taken advantage of. However, the FBI says this new alert that APT's actors have been actively exploiting this since at least October is news, because Zoho didn't come out and say this. The FBI had to issue an alert. And I have a few friends in the FBI. I know that they only issue alerts when the vendor isn't really communicating the severity of the issue. So ManageEngine, which if for those who don't know, is an enterprise IT management software division of Zoho. They're a well-known SaaS company. They're got a multitude of products that they work with Salesforce and Jira and a bunch of others. So and Kaseya and a bunch of others. So really a diverse offering from Zoho. The FBI has filled in some details about how attackers are abusing the flaw after obtaining samples that were downloaded from likely compromised ManageEngine AD self-service plus servers. It's seen attacks upload 2 variants of web shells with the file names emseller.zip or ecoinflect.jar or AA.zip. The web shell overrides the legitimate Desktop Central application protocol interface servlet endpoint. That's a really long sentence. The web shell is also used for reconnaissance and domain enumeration. Eventually, the attackers install an RAT for further intrusion, lateral movements, and credential dumping. Be better. Be better. That's so critical right there, folks. So critical. All right. We'll move to another one. Who would have thought your VoIP system would have a backdoor? Well, Auerswald in Germany has just found out that they've got a secret backdoor in their VoIP appliances. This comes after a pen test in the firmware showed that it could be abused to gain full admin access to the devices. The two backdoor passwords were found in the firmware of the compact 5500R PBX. Researchers from the Red Team penetration testing said in a technical analysis published Monday, one backdoor password is for the secret user Scandalesh or Scandala. The other could be used for the highest privilege user admin. No way was discovered to disable these attackers. The vulnerability has been assigned an identifier 40859ers, carries a critical severity rating of 9.8. Following responsible disclosure on September 10th, Auerswald addressed the problem in a firmware update version 8.2b, which was released in November of 2021. It contains important security updates. PBX, short for Private Branch Exchange, is a switching system that's used here. And there was a backdoor with the username and the passwords just sitting right there for all to see, all to use, enjoy. All the attacker needed to do was generate the password for the username. Is to obtain the serial number of the PBX, a piece of information that can be trivially retrieved using an unauthenticated endpoint, enabling the bad actor to gain access to the web interface that allows for resetting the admin password. They've also identified a second backdoor. So when was the last time you actually pen tested your VoIP? Might make you want to do that. And we'll end the show today with T-Mobile saying they blocked 21 billion, that's with a B, scam calls this year. T-Mobile says it blocked 21 billion scam, spam, and unwanted robocalls this year through its free Scam Shield robocall and scam protection service, amounting to an average of 1.8 billion scam calls identified or blocked every single month. Furthermore, based on data through December 2021, the carrier found that scam call traffic has reached an all-time high, jumping over 116% from 2020 to a total of roughly 425 million scam call attempts every single week. That's more than one per American. Just saying. It's crazy. So maybe it's time we do something. Just saying. Maybe it's time we do something about robocalls and scam calls. Maybe we need to start maybe the FCC needs to do a phone registry. Right? You want to have a phone number, you got to register it with the country. Got to register it with the Federal Communication Commission. And then if you're abusive, then they've got someone to go to where they can issue a complaint, sue them, and make it monetary. Just an idea. Just an idea. I don't know about y'all. It's just my idea right there. Take it for what it is. Take it for its face value. But 21 billion scam calls, that's just T-Mobile. It's not AT&T. That's not Verizon. That's not, Sprint. That's not Cricket. That's not, a bunch of others. It's just one carrier, 21 billion. This is what Americans go through every single day, and we have yet to find a right answer for that. So, folks, that's a good morning to Chinair. I'm sorry for butchering your name. I do apologize. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Folks, that's it for our practitioner brief here today. We'll be back with a lot more tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your day and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.